Hi, welcome back to my channel. Yes, videos, this is it now, gamma. I'm running gamma frequency. So gamma just, it makes you capable of multitasking and doing 1,000 things at once. And that's what's taking place with me right now. And gamma brings us all the way up into the higher light frequencies. They are the galactic frequencies that we're working with. It also works through the body, restructures the immune system, and works on the neurons, the neurotransmitters, and works in the neurological system. So all of that upgrading taking place at the same time. I am feeling like, this get up and go energy because I need to be in creative mode, in creator states. So I'm back today with a Q&A video for you. I have received a few questions and I wanted to come on here and take a few minutes and answer them for you. So we'll just jump right in. First one is on vertigo, feeling dizzy. What is that about? Many people are tuning into the fact that they are having these moments where they're feeling dizzy or they're having bouts of vertigo. And at times it feels like a loss of balance very quickly, or the sense of falling. You're not really falling, but you're feeling like you're falling. And that's gravity going, right? We're having these massive shifts. We're feeling like gravity is going in our physical body. And so when that happens, it means that there's been a shift within Gaia on the earth plane. And if Gaia is shifting and her frequency is shooting up, well, then guess what? We're attached to Gaia through our human body suit, and our frequency is going to have to adjust to that. Plus, we have these bombardments by the light frequencies coming in from the sun. And as I mentioned in yesterday's video, the solar everything, solar activities creating, headache, because headaches are about expansion. When our consciousness is expanding, we oftentimes have a headache because it's impacting the crown area. But solar is also, the solar flares in particular are what create the template wipe. So a lot of times when we're going through a template wipe, even if it's a mini one and it doesn't put you in bed for a few days or a few months, you're going to feel this expansion, and it may make you feel lightheaded or dizzy, or it may make you feel like you're falling, but you're not really falling because it's just a feeling or sensation within your energy body. The subtle energy bodies are shifting. And a lot of times that is the magnetics, right? Because the strongest magnetic field we have is our heart field. And those magnetic shifting are aligning you into these higher frequencies, these higher light frequencies. Now, the first thing that most people want to do when they feel the lightheadedness or the dizziness or the sense of falling when gravity is going, the first thing they want to do is ground themselves. We are not doing that anymore. Gaia cannot support the old ways of grounding. That's 3D. We have to let that go. In these higher states of being, we are not grounding anymore. We are letting ourselves be floaty and lightheaded so that we can acclimate and integrate these energies so that we can shift into these higher timelines, because that's what it's going to feel like. It's going to feel very floaty, very blissful. The feeling of love is just going to come in strong. I was sitting outside for 5 minutes in between my last session and doing this video, just to bring myself back into balance so that I could be present and show up for you here in this video. And I was just feeling this enormous amount of love surging through my field, coming through my heart. So when we're in a state of expansion, we're feeling blissful. We're feeling these higher states, these higher creator states, as I call them. So try to let go of the old 3D perspective where we need to ground. We don't do that anymore. Go outside on the earth, just connect with Gaia, hug a tree if you need to hug a tree. But we're not actually putting our roots into Gaia anymore. We're not doing any of the old-fashioned grounding. We want to be in these higher states. We want to feel floaty and blissful and euphoric. So if you're feeling that, that's awesome. That's where you need to be. Just allow yourself to be there so that you could shift into it more fully and then anchor in, and it won't feel as scary after a while because you'll have anchored into that field. Okay. So the second question that I received is, how do we protect ourselves? How are we protecting ourselves in these higher timelines if we want to meditate or we want to connect with, beings or whatever else, right? That's all 3D also. So protection, protecting ourselves, saying a prayer of protection, that is basically a 3D narrative that we used to run, and it was meant to keep us separate from knowing ourselves as source consciousness. It was meant to keep us separate from knowing our own personal greatness and understanding that we have nothing to fear from nothing. There's nothing out there that can harm us, hurt us, or attack us, okay? And the whole entity thing, or evil beings or anything like that, is a creation through the lower fourth dimensional astral plane where we're playing out our shadow aspects, okay? So if we're protecting ourselves now, we are actually closing our heart center, and we don't want to do that because we want our heart to expand. Expansion is what takes us into the higher timelines, right? Remember, the dimensions are not a place to go. They're a feeling. They're the way we're engaging in our reality. It's what we're feeling, and then through that feeling, what we're creating and bringing into our reality and then experiencing in our reality, okay? Certainly when you turn on the TV, TV is 3D. When you tune into Facebook, Facebook is 3D. Same thing with any other social media platform, okay? And that's where we have to be careful to what we are tuning into those platforms, because if we're tuning into, like, let's say the news on the TV, that's all 3D. It's going to bring that distortion right into your reality. And then if you get upset about something that you're seeing on the news, now you're playing in that reality and you're creating it in your reality, okay? So we don't want to do that. So protection goes right out the window because that is associated with the 3D reality. We are free-flowing beings. I can tell you that when I was little, I never felt the need to protect myself, and I was engaging with beings all the time. When my mom would come into my room, if she heard me talking to somebody, they would pretend to hide in the closet for me so that could be my perception, because she couldn't, tune into them anyway. But I never felt the need to protect myself from anything or anyone. So, and I still don't. I never used it. I never tuned into it. That energy that's associated with protection keeps us in a bubble, and that bubble stops us from expanding. It stops us from expanding our consciousness. So try to let that old 3D construct go, because it's time to let that go. Okay. All right. So moving on to the next question. Why do I feel so big in my body? The scale is not moving. I am just feeling huge in my body. And then another question along the same lines was, how come I am not able to lose weight? No matter what I do, I can't lose weight. Well, part of that is our activating our light body. And one of the things through our ascension process or our spiritual evolution process that we're here to do is let go of judgment, okay? And one of the ways that we've kept ourselves stuck, locked in the loop of the 3D matrix, is through judgment. We judge everything, including our body. And so our body and our distorted perception of our body, if we have one, keeps us separate from loving ourselves, because we're angry with ourselves for how our body looks, or how come it can't lose weight. And all of that is really a construct, a creation to keep us separate from loving ourselves so that we could connect into the source within us. Okay. So if you are struggling with those two issues, let go, find love for your body no matter what, because it is our creation. It does not define us. It's here to help assist us in letting go of judgment. When we realize that our body is another tool for us to go deeper into our awareness of being us, in our awareness of being ascended masters here walking this earth experience in order to understand duality and polarity, it's really here to help us let go of separation that we feel within ourselves. That's why a lot of people who have weight issues have a thyroid issue, and the thyroid is in the neck, and the thyroid's purpose is to hold the energy of separation. So when we have a thyroid problem, we generally have some kind of a weight problem. And so if we could just let go of the whole weight thing, we would heal our judgment of ourselves and come back into oneness within ourselves, which would make our ability to ascend our consciousness so much easier. Okay. So again, it's about judgment. Let go, just be who you are, love yourself no matter what. Nobody is judging you. The only one judging you is you. If somebody shows up to judge you, it's because you are needing to clear that energy from your field. You're still playing in the energy of judgment, so people are going to show up to judge you just so that you can get triggered and go deeper and clear that energy. Okay, that's really super, super important to have that awareness. Okay, the next talking point is feeling like you need to do something, anything, feeling like you're being pushed forward to do something, to create something, to bring something forward. It's a really big push that we're feeling, right? That's actually your light body activating, and it has to do with being, again, in a state of expansion. When we're in that state of expansion and we're feeling that push to do something, it's because we're about to birth a new reality. It's in our field. Our field is pregnant with creativity, okay? And we're feeling our field, our electromagnetic field, expand into itself, and that expansion gives us that feeling of the push because we need to do something. So if you're feeling that, just feel into it, sit into it, let yourself be present to feel all of it. And then whatever is meant to be birthed in that experience that you're having, where you're ascending your consciousness, it will naturally happen for you. And there is nothing that you need to do for that. Okay. So, and I know many people are having that right now, and it feels really, really uncomfortable, but just let yourself have that experience. And I promise you, it will shift for you, and it'll be like poking the piñata and finally poking it enough that all the goodness falls out of it, and you'll have those sweet desserts and be able to understand what that was all about for you, because it's about birthing a new reality. Okay. The next question I got is, this is a good one. I know many of you are feeling this, the loss of psychic abilities. Where did they go? I don't feel connected anymore. I used to just be able to tune in, and now I'm feeling like that is not happening for me anymore. Did I lose my psychic ability? Will it ever come back online? Well, no, you didn't lose it. It's just shifted. So whereas in 3D, there was the veil that was separating you from 4D, from the astral plane, where we were able to commune and call in our loved ones that have lost, beings that we want to connect with, guides, whatever, right? Now we're actually walking in that 4D experience, most of us, unless you're super unconscious. If you're super unconscious, you're 3D. But if you're conscious, you're walking in 4D. So basically, you're walking where you used to go go to meet up with all of these beings that you used to connect with. It's like you've entered the waiting room where they used to just wait to commune and talk to you. Okay. So now, instead of perceiving yourself as needing to go someplace, right? We meditated to expand ourselves, expand our consciousness, expand our field. We're not having to go any place outside of ourselves because it's all in the heart center, which is why we don't want to protect the heart. We want to expand the heart. We want to keep expanding the heart center because that's part of our evolutionary journey. In the expansion of the heart, that's how we come into love. That's how we come into our consciousness. That's how we bring in our higher self. Okay. So really, this just requires you shifting how you're accessing your information. It's no longer on the outside of you. It's all on the inside of you. So it requires you coming in and just tuning within, and then you'll see it's all right there for you. It hasn't gone anywhere. It's just the way that you're accessing it has changed. Okay. And the last talking point that I want to talk about, question that I get asked all the time, is about the twin flame. Okay. And I get asked this a lot. What's my perception on the twin flame relationship? And it's the same thing as asking me about a soulmate and the soulmate relationship. My perception on that is, and this is coming through my higher self, because all of my information comes through higher self. All of those terms were created in 3D. They were constructs of, our 3D consciousness when we were more unconscious. So for me, the twin flame, when I look at that relationship, because it's usually an intense, that's why they call it a twin flame, because two flames coming together, right? This is when you're having a magnetized experience with someone, or a magnetized relationship where it's very intensified, it's very sexual, it's very driven together. There's this connection that's unavoidable. You come together for a while and then boom, you explode apart, but then you can't stay apart and you come back together again. And then after a while, you can't stay together and then boom, you blow apart, right? And that's a very volatile relationship. And if you think about the context of that relationship with the twin flame, it's exactly identical to the empath narcissist, right? The empath narcissist relationship, we come together and it's very intensive, and there's a lot of emotion, and we come together and then we end up separating because we can't stand each other, and then we come back together again because we can't be without each other, and then we separate again because we can't stand each other, and then we come back together, right? That whole process is really about being pushed into ourselves deeper, right? So whatever's transpiring in that, there's always going to be one partner that plays that narcissistic role that's going to force us, the empath, into our heart, into loving ourselves more, so that we're finally not choosing that narcissistic relationship anymore, recognizing that it's not about them, it's about loving ourselves more. And then we don't allow ourselves to play in the narcissism, right? But then the narcissist could also learn in that they have to soften their perspective and not come from the wounding that's within them, which is what makes them never want to be wrong and always pointing the finger at the other person. And the empath always seems to be the one that's going to take the hit in the relationship, right? So that it's that divine orchestration between the narcissist and the empath, okay? But if the two people are really working at being together and have done enough work apart and then have done work together, that union of the twin flame could then turn into a divine union, right? So it moves from a twin flame relationship or union to a divine union, where it's not necessary for them to be with each other, but the goals that they both share have become a common goal for the purpose of both evolving their spirituality and evolving their consciousness. And then in that coming together, it becomes the divine union where they are sharing that common goal with each other and everybody else. So it shifts the twin flame dynamic to a more soul-centered, soul-centric relationship, where then it could be much healthier, much more fulfilling, where both are on the same page, treating with each other with love, compassion, caring, respect. Okay, and there's reciprocity where they're sharing within each other. Okay, so I hope that you found this Q&A interesting. That is my intention as always. Thank you to those of you who submitted the questions to me. They really help others when we can break them down and share this information. So thank you again for submitting them. And if any of you do have questions, please feel free to either send them to me at my support@mariadc.com email address, or you can drop them below in the comments section, and I will try to answer them in my next Q&A video. I would like to do some more of these. So if you found this information helpful, please give me a like, as it moves me up in the algorithms of YouTube so that other people can see my videos and potentially benefit from some of the information here. If you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Your support means the world to me. And if you are tuning in for the first time and you found this information interesting, please check out some of my other videos. If you find that you're connecting here and it resonates with you, please consider giving me a subscribe and hitting the bell notification so that you could be notified of my next video. And as always, I love you so much, sending you so much love, and wishing you a wonderful whatever it is that you are doing today. Stay open in your heart center. Be light in all that you do, sharing that light with others. And most of all, be love. I love you. I will see you again soon.